Hello, young mathematicians. Welcome to another exciting journey into the world of circles. Today, we are diving deep into a fascinating property. The angle in a semicircle is 90 degrees. This isn't just a rule to memorize, it's a powerful concept that helps us understand and solve many geometric puzzles. We'll start with the basics, then gradually explore its proof, applications, and even its historical significance. Get ready to unravel the secrets of the semicircle, from easy to the hardest challenges. Let's kick things off with the easy level. Have you ever wondered what's so special about an angle drawn inside half a circle? First, let's quickly define what a semicircle is. Imagine cutting a perfectly round pizza exactly in half, right through its center. Each half is a semicircle. Mathematically, it's half of a circle, created by a diameter. The diameter is the longest line you can draw across a circle, always passing through its center. Now, for the star of our show, the angle in a semicircle theorem. This amazing rule states that if you pick any point on the curved edge of a semicircle and connect it to both ends of the diameter, the angle formed at that point will always be exactly 90 degrees. It's a guaranteed right angle, every single time. So, why is this angle always 90 degrees? The simplest way to understand this involves another important circle theorem. Remember that the angle an arc makes at the center of a circle is double the angle it makes at any point on the circumference? Well, a diameter forms a straight line, which means it subtends an angle of 180 degrees at the center of the circle. Since the angle at the circumference is half of the angle at the center, half of 180 degrees is precisely 90 degrees. Look at the example. If AB is the diameter and C is on the circumference, angle ACB will always be 90 degrees. It's a fundamental property that makes problem solving much easier. Time to test your understanding with some easy practice questions. Read each question carefully and apply the theorem we just learned. For question 1, think about the definition of a semicircle. For question 2, consider what kind of triangle always has a 90-degree angle. And for question 3, remember that a chord dividing a circle into two semicircles is essentially a diameter. Pause the video, solve them, and then check your answers. Ready to go a bit deeper? Welcome to the medium level, where we'll explore the angle in a semicircle theorem with more detail and slightly more challenging applications. At the medium level, we revisit the theorem with a more formal understanding. This theorem isn't just a standalone fact, it's a special instance of a more general rule. The angle an arc makes at the center is double the angle it makes anywhere on the remaining part of the circumference. Imagine the arc as a semicircle. The angle it forms at the center is 180 degrees because the diameter is a straight line. Following the general rule, the angle it forms at any point on the circumference must be exactly half of that 180 degrees, leading us directly to 90 degrees. This connection helps us appreciate the theorem's logical foundation within circle geometry. Now, let's walk through a formal proof using the angle subtended at the center. Imagine AB is the diameter of a circle with its center at O, and C is any point on the circumference. We want to show that angle ACB is 90 degrees. The arc ACB, which is a semicircle, subtends angle AOB at the center. Since AOB is a straight line, angle AOB is 180 degrees. The same arc also subtends angle ACB at point C on the circumference. According to our key theorem, the angle at the center is twice the angle at the circumference. So, angle AOB equals to times angle ACB. Substituting 180 degrees for angle AOB, we get 180 degrees equals to times angle ACB. A simple division shows that angle ACB must be 90 degrees. This proof clearly demonstrates the theorem's validity. This theorem is incredibly powerful for identifying right-angled triangles. If you ever see a triangle inscribed in a circle, and one of its sides happens to be the circle's diameter, you immediately know that the angle opposite that diameter, formed by the third vertex on the circumference, is 90 degrees. This makes the triangle a right-angled triangle. The converse is also true. If a right-angled triangle is inscribed in a circle, its hypotenuse must be the diameter. This means the center of the circle is the midpoint of the hypotenuse. These properties are super useful in solving geometric problems, allowing us to find unknown angles, lengths, or prove relationships within figures involving circles and triangles. Alright, it's time for some medium-level practice. These questions might require a little more thought, possibly combining the angle in a semicircle theorem with other basic geometric principles. For example, in question 1, consider how the 120-degree angle relates to the rest of the circle. In question 2, think about the Pythagorean theorem and its relation to right-angled triangles. Remember to draw diagrams if it helps visualize the problem. Take your time, apply what you've learned, and good luck. Ready for a deeper dive? Welcome to the hard level, where we'll explore more complex proofs and applications of our theorem. At this level, let's explore an alternative, more algebraic proof of the theorem using properties of isosceles triangles and the angle sum property. Imagine AB is the diameter, O is the center, and C is a point on the circumference. Draw a line from O to C. Now we have two triangles, AOC and BOC. Since OA, OB, and OC are all radii, they are equal in length. This makes triangle AOC an isosceles triangle, so angle OAC equals angle OCA. Let's call this X. Similarly, triangle BOC is isosceles, so angle OBC equals angle OCB. Let's call this Y. Now, consider the big triangle ABC. The sum of its angles is 180 degrees. So, angle cap plus angle ABC plus angle BCA equals 180 degrees. Substituting our X and Y values, we get X plus Y equals 180 degrees. This simplifies to 2x plus 2y equals 180 degrees, which means x plus y equals 90 degrees. Since angle BCA is x plus y, we've proven that angle BCA is 90 degrees. This elegant proof shows the theorem's consistency with fundamental triangle properties. The angle in a semicircle theorem has interesting connections to cyclic quadrilaterals. Remember, a cyclic quadrilateral is one where all its vertices lie on a circle. If a cyclic quadrilateral has one of its diagonals as the diameter of the circle, then the two angles subtended by that diameter at the other two vertices must each be 90 degrees. This means that such a quadrilateral will always contain at least two right angles. Think about a rectangle inscribed in a circle. Its diagonals are always diameters, and all its angles are 90 degrees, perfectly illustrating this connection. This theorem can also be subtly applied in coordinate geometry. If you have 3 points forming a right-angled triangle on a circle, and the hypotenuse is the diameter, you can use the slopes of the perpendicular sides to verify the right angle, as their product would be -1. This bridges pure geometry with analytical geometry, showing the theorem's versatility. When tackling complex geometry problems, recognizing the angle in a semicircle situation is a crucial problem-solving strategy. Always be on the lookout for triangles inscribed in circles, especially if one of their sides is a diameter. Instantly marking that opposite angle as 90 degrees can unlock solutions to problems that seem daunting. This theorem often acts as a bridge, connecting various other circle theorems like angles in the same segment, tangents, or chords. It's a foundational step in many multi-part proofs. Furthermore, it has extended applications in more advanced geometric constructions, for example, in accurately drawing tangents to a circle from an external point or proving properties related to the power of a point. Mastering this theorem means you're equipped with a powerful tool for intricate geometric analysis. Alright, it's time for the hard level challenge. These questions will require you to combine the angle in a semicircle theorem with other circle properties, properties of parallel lines, or even some basic trigonometry. For question 1, consider the relationship between parallel chords and angles. For question 2, think about angles in a cyclic quadrilateral. Question 5 asks you to prove a fundamental property. Don't be afraid to draw auxiliary lines or use algebraic representations for angles. These problems are designed to push your understanding and application skills. Good luck, and remember to break down each problem into smaller, manageable steps. Are you ready to truly master this concept? Welcome to the hardest level, where we'll explore the deepest insights, historical context, and competitive applications of the angle in a semicircle theorem. At the hardest level, we appreciate the rich history and broad context of this theorem. It's actually a special case of Thales' theorem, one of the oldest geometric theorems, attributed to the ancient Greek philosopher Thales of Miletus. While simple, it marked a significant shift in mathematics because it was one of the first theorems to be proven deductively, moving beyond mere observation. This theorem also fits beautifully into the generalized theorem. The angle subtended by an arc at the center is double the angle subtended by it at any point on the remaining part of the circle. When the arc becomes a semicircle, the central angle is 180 degrees, making the angle at the circumference exactly 90 degrees. This connection shows how fundamental and interconnected geometric principles are. Beyond theoretical proofs, Thales' theorem has practical applications, especially in constructions. It provides an elegant way to construct a right angle using just a compass and straightedge. Imagine you have a line segment. By making it the diameter of a circle, any point on that circle's circumference will form a 90-degree angle with the diameter's endpoints. This principle is also vital for constructing tangents to a circle from an external point. By creating a semicircle with the line segment from the external point to the circle's center as its diameter, the points where this semicircle intersects the original circle are precisely the points of tangency. This is because the radius drawn to the point of tangency must be perpendicular to the tangent, a perfect application of our theorem. Though modern engineering uses advanced tools, the underlying geometric principles for establishing perpendicularity, derived from theorems like this, remain crucial for precision in design and construction. In competitive exams, problems involving the angle in a semicircle often appear in sophisticated forms, requiring you to identify the hidden application of the theorem. You might encounter problems involving cyclic quadrilaterals where a diameter is a diagonal, immediately giving you 90-degree angles. Or complex figures with tangents and chords, where identifying a semicircle can simplify finding unknown angles or lengths using the Pythagorean theorem. Look out for locus problems. The locus of a point that always subtends a right angle at two fixed points is a circle with those fixed points as its diameter. These problems test not just your knowledge, but your ability to see beyond the obvious and apply theorems creatively. They often involve multiple steps and require a strong grasp of various circle properties. The legacy of the angle in a semicircle theorem extends far beyond simple classroom problems. It's a cornerstone of Euclidean geometry, influencing how we understand and prove more complex theorems. It demonstrates the power of deductive reasoning that Thales championed, a method that underpins all of modern mathematics and science. From constructing precise right angles in ancient architecture to forming the basis of advanced geometric proofs and competitive problem-solving techniques, this theorem's impact is profound. It's a testament to how a seemingly simple geometric truth can have widespread and lasting significance, shaping our understanding of space and form. Truly, a small theorem with a mighty legacy. All right, prepare for the ultimate challenge with these hardest level questions, from 1 to 5. These problems demand critical thinking, combining multiple geometric concepts, and sometimes even a touch of algebra or trigonometry. For question 1, consider the relationships between chords, radii, and right angles formed. Question 2 requires analyzing angles within a circle and a quadrilateral. Question 3 is a classic proof involving intersecting circles. Don't rush, draw clear diagrams and think about all the theorems you've learned. The solutions often involve a chain of logical steps, so be meticulous in your reasoning. Good luck with these brain teasers. Continuing with our hardest level questions, here are problems 6 through 10. These will further test your ability to apply the angle in a semicircle theorem in diverse and complex scenarios. Question 6 involves tangents and parallel lines, while question 7 asks for a proof relating lengths within a right-angled triangle in a circle. Question 8 involves properties of arcs and chords. For question 9, you'll need to combine the theorem with the Pythagorean theorem. And for question 10, visualize the folding process and how it creates new geometric relationships. Remember, these are designed to be challenging, so persistence and a systematic approach are key. Embrace the struggle, as that's where true learning happens. And that brings us to the end of our deep dive into the angle in a semicircle is 90 degrees theorem. We started with the basics, explored its proofs, and tackled some truly challenging problems. I hope you now have a comprehensive understanding of this fundamental concept and its wide-ranging applications. To continue your learning journey and explore more such fascinating topics in mathematics, physics, chemistry, and biology, visit synapse.omaps.in. Don't forget to like this video, share it with your friends, and subscribe to our channel for more exciting educational content. Keep learning, keep exploring, and keep excelling. See you in the next video.